Next, I want to talk about these transgender bedtime stories because nothing says stick it to the man quite like convincing a child to mutilate their genitals. So, Senator Alyssa Slotkin, she is she was the person that was selected from the left to go and pretty much rebuttal against everything that Trump had to say at his first joint union address of his second term. And she was also one of the biggest leaders when it comes to keeping men in women's sports. She's very much in favor of keeping biological men in women's sports. And now, before I get into all this tea, let me remind y'all, PragerU is a 501c3 nonprofit, meaning we do not endorse any candidate. We are not out here endorsing a political party or anything. We're just talking about the tea and calling a spade a spade. So I just find it funny how, as it was announced to us that Senator Slotkin was going to be talking to all of us, or talking to Trump and basically giving her rebuttals to Trump, this video resurfaced of her reading transgender children's books to little kids. Let's play that clip.
I don't mind being different. Different is special. I think what matters most is what a person is like on the inside. And inside, I'm happy. I'm having fun. I'm proud. I am jazz.
First of all, this is how I know that these people don't even know trans people. Because what do you mean inside you're happy and having fun? The amount of mutilation that goes into like these hormone blockers, like if you really go and listen to people who are honest about this, the process of transitioning, their body goes through hell. Okay. And when I sit there and I see this and I see that this is the way that the left likes to make their point and bring their point across by reading transgender bedtime stories to these little kids, the left is never beating the groomer allegations. I just have to say it. Okay, why are you reading about this to little kids? I just do not understand, nor do I want to, what is going through these people's heads when they're constantly trying to put this ideology onto young kids, whether it's sexuality, gender identity, which is still just such a scam when you look into the history of it. No matter what angle that you're approaching it from, let these little kids be kids. Do kids even play Red Rover anymore? Because I used to tear that game up because I had a whole strategy. I was going in there like a little torpedo. Okay, kids don't even play hopscotch these days. They are instead playing like Yahtzee about gender or something. Like, it's getting out of control. It is really getting out of control, and I feel like it's taking away the innocence of children that they deserve, and it's just so unfair to these kids. And I just don't see how they see this as anything beyond grooming, where you're putting these ideas into kids that maybe I am a little different. What little kid doesn't feel a little different? Can we go there? What little kid doesn't feel like there's something a little different about them on the inside? They don't even know what's going on the inside. Kids don't even know what they're comparing themselves to. So you're telling kids, oh, you feel different on the inside? Maybe you need to go on puberty blockers and mutilate your genitals. Please. That is insane. And what I really don't understand is how the left is constantly talking about how oppressed and how difficult the lives is of the LGBTQ plus. I was trying to put in some extra letters. Child, there are so many letters in that thing at this point. What is it? LGBTQ? I think there's two Q's, or is it two I's and then an A? Then there's two spirit on there now. And they talk about how this whole community is so oppressed and has it so hard and so difficult. Then why are you constantly trying to convince more people to go and be a part of that community? If you know that being a transgender youth is such a difficult experience, then why are you constantly trying to persuade kids to go down that route and to create complications in their life? To me, it's giving death cult, because to me, it just seems like you want these kids to all be infertile for a whole little, depopulation situation. But we're not going to go there today, because then y'all really start thinking I'm in my tinfoil hat, which I am. But it's really sad to see how determined even elected officials are to get these little kids to be so drastically confused about every element of their life. And what I've really come to realize is that mental illness is being romanticized in our culture. It really is. There's this glamour and this glitz that they have added to mental illness that is truly getting out of control. And I really feel like these people who are making such a stance on this, they're doing it because they hate conservatives more than they love America. And specifically, they hate conservatives more than they love American youth.